Hi friends, Austin Beals here. This video is dedicated to helping you achieve the goal of being completely mediocre your entire life. If you have no desire to be excellent or great or extraordinary in this lifetime, then I would encourage you to follow the tips in this video. And I have two main tips for you. And again, if you want to be average, you should follow these to the T. First tip. This is important. Here we go. You need to do what everyone else is doing. If the populace, if the masses are in favor of that thinking, are in favor of those actions, then you need to keep it up. Do not even think about stepping out of the herd of sheeple heading in a similar direction. A great way to know what the masses are doing is simply to listen to the advice given by the government and media. It's usually the same stuff, and the majority of people typically follow it. For instance, on the subject of health, if you want to have mediocre health your entire life, which for the average person is actually pretty horrible, you can't even call it health because it's not. If that's what you want, you should follow the advice of obsessive chronic cardio, long hours on the treadmill, and plenty of whole grains. Just lots of grains, any way that you can get your grains. That is so important. And completely disregard the fact that we have gotten fatter and sicker as a nation ever since the food pyramid was introduced in the mid-70s, telling us to eat large amounts of grains. And we have obeyed, and look where we are now. But don't think about that. Disregard stuff like that, because you don't have time to think for yourself if you want to be average. You shouldn't think for yourself if you want to be mediocre your whole life. You should let the media and large governments, large corporations think for you. I'm just telling you, this is what you need to do if you want to be mediocre your whole life. So first step, blend in with the crowd. Do what everybody else is doing. And secondly, you need to be highly distracted. Highly distracted. The average amount of time that the American spends in front of a television is 8 hours a day. I'm sorry. I got excited. It's actually 5. 8 is the typical workday, but 5 is how many hours the average person spends watching the TV. Look it up. And it's pretty astonishing. That might be spread throughout the week, but that's the average per day. That is a very large number, but that's good. If you want to be average, keep it up. Keep watching large amounts of TV. Don't spend any time reading. Don't spend any time in nature. Don't spend any time cooking yourself delicious, healthy food. Just make sure that you get food that is just cheap and fast, that allows you to get right to your couch so you can continue watching television. And along the lines of distraction, you should also engage in very large amounts of social media. In fact, the national average is 3.5 hours every day. Now, there might be some overlap with the social media and the television. It might be okay for you to be on social media while watching television. That's okay. But I would highly encourage you to get about 6 to 7 hours of total distraction in your day if you want to be average your entire life. These are essential. Excessive social media and lots of TV. And yeah, so I mean, that's pretty much it. Honestly, if you just do what everybody else is doing, you follow the crowd, and you are highly distracted the majority of your free time, then you are going to be average and mediocre your whole life. So it's really quite simple. Follow these tips. If you want to live a great life, I would strongly encourage you to not listen to anything that I've said in this. Don't listen to these tips. But, again, I made this video for the people who want to be average. So, go out there and live the life you want.